Hello, welcome to Soulprint Pendulum Friday for March 22nd. All right. I am hoping that I get through this with slightly more brain cells than I did last week, but here's hoping. Let's get started. Lots of questions this week. Oh my goodness. And lots of new subscribers. Thank you so very much for finally hitting that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit the bell because there are times where my videos come out like clockwork, and then there are times when they're really erratic. So if you don't want to miss one, hit the bell. Alrighty, let's get started. First question is, will Jared ever have to answer for the $2 billion he received from the Saudis? Okay, I'm going to have to kind of rework that because let's be clear about what the $2 billion was. It wasn't like Saudi Arabia or the Crown Prince or whoever it was just handed him $2 billion and said, here, go play. What they did was they gave him $2 billion that he was to manage, like a money manager. So it wasn't like he got personally the $2 billion. Now, apparently, he's being paid like $100 million a year to do whatever it is that money managers do with $2 billion. But so it's not his money. Now, the question is, is he ever going to be held responsible for the fact that those kinds of deals were negotiated when daddy-in-law was president, and that's sort of, using the president's office for personal gain. So I'm going to ask it that way. Is Jared ever going to be investigated or answer in any way legally for the $2 billion money management case that he was handed by the Saudis? Is that ever going to happen? All right. As of right now, that's a no. Is there anything of monetary value buried with Ivana, like gold bricks? I don't know what everybody's obsession is with what is or isn't in that casket. We know she was cremated, or that was what we were told. So for reasons that nobody quite understands, I guess the urn with the ashes was put in a casket. I don't quite understand. Let's see. I know a lot of readers have other answers. I have never, ever gotten that anything significant is in that casket. I'll ask again. Let's see. Is there anything of monetary value buried with Ivana? No. All right. Let's ask a couple more questions. Is there any currency of any kind buried with her? No. Are there any secret documents, secret papers, any paperwork that is being hidden? Is anything like that buried with her? Okay, and I'm getting no. I know lots of others have lots of things to say about it. I've just never gotten an answer other than a plain old boring no, I'm sorry. Will Ron DeSantis be able to complete his current term as governor of Florida? Okay, so in the first place, he wasn't even supposed to be governor of Florida while he was running for the president. He twisted things around and got stuff rewritten so that he could stay in office. And I honestly couldn't tell you when his term ends, but let's just ask. Will Ron DeSantis be able to complete his current term as governor of Florida as of right now? That's a pretty strong yes. Will there be a female Democratic president or president after President Biden's second term? Okay, yes. Now, I caution you, the question wasn't, is will there be one immediately following Biden's term? Just will there be one? Will those wanting a fascist government gain power in Canada? No. And will those energies affect the next federal election cycle? Okay, so there's a small guess going on there. I don't think the next election is for a couple of years. I think it's 2026. So we've got some time. Is 45 keeping current on his payments for the cost of fuel maintenance pilots for his 737 plane? No. What a surprise. He doesn't keep current on any of his payments, right? He actually just doesn't think he actually should pay money to people for pretty much anything. Although I do hear that his rallies, he's doing a whole lot less rallies and in much, much smaller venues, in part because he can't afford the bigger venues. It also makes me wonder, if they're not trying to sort of cover for the fact that maybe there aren't quite as many people available to fill up those big venues. I wonder if he's actually finished paying the bills from, 4 years ago. Okay, so apparently the plane's not being, those bills are not being maintained. Is there a chance that his plane gets grounded for lack of payment? Okay, right now that's a no. Kind of the other more curious question is there a chance the plane gets grounded because it is not mechanically sound? Okay, so that's a big yes. So that could happen. A number of Republican politicians have announced that they are not endorsing 45 for president. Will the Republicans put forward another candidate for president at the Republican convention in July? Interesting. So, as most of you know, when the pendulum kind of doesn't move, it means that the answer hasn't been determined, usually. Sometimes it means it's none of our business. Um, and the reason I'm sort of not surprised is because it feels like energetically that there's kind of a lot of stuff that could happen to 45 mentally, physically, etc. between now and then. If for whatever reason he's not actually viable, they would have to. So it kind of makes me think like at this point, as long as Trump is their nominee, they're not going to put another one forward. If for some reason Trump does not end up being viable as their presidential nominee, I mean, you'd think they would have to, right? I'm going to ask a couple questions. I'm just going to insert some of my questions here. These were questions actually that I have been asking lately. So, question. As of now, right now, as we look forward to November of 2024, is Donald Trump going to be a viable presidential candidate for the Republicans against Joe Biden? No, which is pretty darn consistent with what a bunch of us are saying. Can't tell you why. We just know he can't get him there. We can't physically get him there. All right. Is another Republican going to win the presidency, win the presidential election in November of 2024? Any other Republican or any Republican? Okay, no. Is there any independent who is running who could win the U.S. presidency in November of 2024? No. Is there any third party candidate who will win the election for the U.S. presidency in 2024? No. Is Joe Biden going to win his second term in office as President of the United States as a result of the November 2024 election? Yes. Will Joe Biden be sworn in on Inauguration Day as President of the United States in January 2025? Yes. Everybody breathe in, exhale, relax. Will Melania appear with the former guy at any of his rallies in the next month? Interesting. So she did. She was around when he was entertaining. Oh my God, what was that guy's name? Last week, the dictator from whatever country, not Netanyahu, Orban, Viktor Orban. She was around for that. Is she going to appear at any rallies with him in the next month or so? No, no. If she does appear at any of them, it feels like it will be a little further along in the election sort of cycle. Is Melania embarrassed by his rally performances? Yes, she is. I actually think humiliated is probably a better word, but will Fani Willis be able to stay on the Georgia case and see it through to the final closing arguments? Yes. Will Judge Cannon be removed from the case before June 1st? Okay, I'm not quite sure why we're choosing that date, but let's just ask. Oops, hold on, this thing's slipping. Okay, no. Will he be removed at any point before the trial starts? Ooh, yes. That's a pretty firm yes, too. So that's interesting because I'm not sure that it seems to me that answer kind of flips and flops depending on what the energies are doing. Is Judge Cannon trying to get removed from the documents case? No. Does Judge Cannon have a lot of legal assistance, legal mentors, helping her as she attempts to figure out what the heck she's doing here with this documents case that perhaps come from the Heritage Society or some like organization? Does she have higher mentors? Yeah, yeah. Will Biden appoint a new FBI director in 2025? So Christopher Wray is the current one. Is Biden going to appoint a new FBI director? That's looking like a pretty strong yes. Will Christopher Wray, director of the FBI, be implicated in any way in the January 6th trials? No. Did Director Ray ignore intelligence regarding the possibility that the January 6th rally would become dangerous? Okay, so what I'm getting here is a little yes. What I'm being told is that it wasn't so much that it completely ignored it, as much as he did not give it like the validity that it should have had. But and for a second, let's just think about this. In hindsight, everybody's vision is clear. But even if somebody had said in, November or December, there's going to be a group of people who are literally going to storm the Capitol. Most human people would have said, that's not possible. It's just not possible. And, we watched it with our own eyes on television. And if you can think back to how you felt, there was a sense of shock, a sense of violation, a sense of, I can't be truly seeing what I'm seeing. And I'm not excusing anybody's behavior. I'm just saying you can see where prior to January 6th and those events, it would have been very hard for kind of anybody to wrap their head around the idea that that kind of violence could take place at the Capitol. Now, oh boy, no, I mean, now there will be red flags all over the place because we understand it can happen and it did. But I think at that time, I think maybe it was just beyond, I don't know, beyond our ability to grasp in some ways. The Federal Court of Appeals is allowing seven Capitol Police officers to sue Trump in a civil suit. Will that trial ever actually happen? I'm getting a yes. Now, okay, so as of right now, that looks like it is on track. Now, if all of a sudden Trump isn't viable, I don't know what happens then, right? I mean, do they go after his estate? I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. Will the state of New York, Letitia James, AG, you guys are getting really good at putting in a lot of details on your questions here in case my brain freezes again. I do appreciate that. You have no idea. Where was I? State of New York, sell Trump properties and then give the money to E. Jean Carroll. Do you see Trump's collapse in the month of July? Okay, so I don't know where this, in the month of June, I don't know where this June thing's coming from. I do know that there's eclipse energy happening. And I maybe what I'll try to do next week is do a direct channeling and see if there is a reason that June is starting to take sort of some significant importance, or it keeps coming up. Obviously, as if it has been this week, clearly I have been out of the loop, between sanding and painting and like that. Okay. So okay. Oh, okay. Hold up. Yeah. Your question is cross-threading things here. The E. Jean Carroll case, that money to pay her the 84 whatever million dollars, that money has already been set aside. It has been covered by that bond through Chubb. Okay? So her money is sitting somewhere intact and safe. That is completely separate from the E. Jean Carroll. from the Letitia James. Letitia James is the business, the Trump Corporation, the businesses, the bad business practices of, $554 million fine. That's the one that she will be able to seize whatever property is there to seize, to liquidate it, to pay the fine. And that fine, if I'm not mistaken, frankly, it would go to New York, the state of New York, right? It would go into New York's coffers as, I guess, income. I mean, sort of the same way, I don't know, like parking ticket money goes, or speeding ticket money, or whatever goes. It would go into something there to be recovered by the state who was the wronged or the injured party. So they're two very, very separate things. E.G. Carroll's money is sitting there and it's waiting for an appeal. If the appeal works in Trump's favor, then she doesn't get all of that money, or it goes back to court, or I don't even know what happens then. If it does not work in Trump's favor, which is the expectation, then the money that Chubb has guaranteed, the 84 whatever million, she gets that handed to her right now. Okay. Do you see Trump's collapse in the month of June? Okay, so there is a yes. I guess the question is, what kind of a collapse and how big is it? Because in some ways, he's already suffered significant collapses, but he's kind of like a cockroach, he just keeps on going, right? I mean, it's possible that, he could survive just about anything, like a cockroach, right? Nothing seems to completely take him down. So, collapse. Let me dig into that next week and see if I can get some interesting information, channeled information, or even tarot reading, and see if I can find out what is kind of setting itself up for June. Our judicial system is so messed up and corrupt. Is Canada's judicial system anything like the US? Oh, Lord, I just don't even know how to answer that. First, I can't answer that with a yes, no, just let's start with. I think that there are some differences. And to be fair, I don't know enough about the Canadian judicial system versus the US and what the differences are in terms of, the judges and how they're appointed. It seems to me that we don't elect judges in this country. They are appointed. But honestly, I couldn't tell you if they're appointed, provincially, if they're appointed by federally, if there's different judges appointed by different regions. I don't have an answer. I'm sorry. If there's somebody brilliant out there who understands the Canadian justice system in comparison to the US one, please put your wisdom and knowledge in the comment section. Will Hakeem Jeffries become speaker before Johnson can sabotage Gaza and Ukraine and pass the aid packages to those who are sorely in need? All right. Let's break this down. Is Hakeem Jeffries going to become Speaker of the House before November's election? Okay, now that's actually a strong yes, and that's new, because for a while it was no, and then it was kind of maybe, and so now we're looking at a yes. Is Johnson going to be able to sabotage the Gaza and Ukraine aid packages? So I'm getting a small yes. What I'm hearing is that he's going to do his level best, but it feels like there are going to be, I don't know, cutouts, ways around it. He's going to be outmaneuvered, is what I'm getting. Does Donald Trump actually own the private club Mar-a-Lago? I'm getting a yes. Now, I don't know, does that mean, I own, okay, well, I don't have a mortgage, so that doesn't apply. But most people say I own my house, but really them and the bank own it, right? So I'm sure he does not own it free and clear, but he would be on title, like I assume, in terms of ownership. I'm not quite sure. Are there still Israeli hostages that are alive? Yes. Princess Kate's medical records have been hacked online. Will all her personal medical information be revealed to the public? No. Um, and I'm not sure. My understanding was that it was an attempted hack, and that it was stopped. The person was caught. Whatever was going on there. So I don't believe any of that information has gotten out. If the Republicans are using Reaganomics types of policies that Ronald Reagan used in the 70s to push Black American achievements and quality of life, to push back Black American achievements and qualities of life. Okay, so the question was, I'm going to, again, the question started with if, so that are the Republicans using 1970s policies to try to minimize and push back the accomplishments and quality of life of Black Americans? Yes. Will Fani use someone in her office to move forward? Okay, I don't know what that means. So we do know that Wade has stepped back. And we've asked already, and it looks like Fani is going to be able to carry this case forward. Is she going? Let's ask this way: is she going to be stepping back only in as much as taking a more low profile role as things go forward? And I'm getting a yes. So it may be that um, she's not going to step away, but she might step to the side a little bit so that all of the attention and focus isn't on her. And I guess we should ask, is she going to win? Because she's coming up for reelection. Am I not correct? Is she going to win reelection in Georgia? Yes. And this last question, I don't know. It's really, really out there. I don't quite know how I don't even know how it's part of this mix. The question literally is, did Jesus survive his crucifixion for many decades? I just feel like this is a question that is just not something that I can tackle in this forum or on this channel that focuses primarily on politics. I really try to stay away from a lot of religious philosophies, etc. I think we all have our own. And as I've said many, many times, as far as I'm concerned, the divine is like the center part of a wheel, and all of the spokes, which are all the other religions, all of the other spiritual ideas or concepts, whether they are sort of traditional ones or very personal ones, I think that the spokes come from center and they're all equal. So I'm just not going to go down that road. Thank you very, very much, everybody, for being here. Thank you again for your patience. As I said, hopefully things will settle back down, and I will be back on a regular kind of video schedule next week. And for right now, it's Friday. So have a fabulous weekend. And as always, something special for yourself and someone else this weekend. We will see you next week. Until then, take care and be well. Bye-bye.